Um, Cherokee was somebody who had a really personal view of things. I mean, in a way, his idea of union work is kind of an extension of his family. That his father hated the company and fought the company, and so he hated the company and fought the company, and his brother hated the company and fought the company. And he tended to personalize things. He had a very strong them and us kind of a view, but he was sort of blind to theoretical issues. Everything is a very practical minded person, and if there were disputes in the union, somebody was opposing his role, leadership role in the iron workers. He didn't see that there might be a political agenda behind that. To him, it was personal. He says they're against me because they don't like me. Workers Viewpoint folks, what they did is they latched onto Cherokee. They were one element of the coalition Cherokee assembled to win the election at the end of 1976. Excuse me, and sort of take control of the local. And then what they did is they attached themselves to him like barnacles and manipulated him. They the whole goal was to sort of form themselves into a pressure group around him to interpret reality for him and to control his actions. They had a lot of success at that. So they would, they understood his psychology, which is that he viewed everything in a personal sense. So if the Workers Viewpoint folks had a certain proposal for a campaign that the union should advance and somebody was against it, they would, one of the other factions was against it, then they would go to Cherokee and they'd tell him, they just oppose this because they don't like you. They're plotting against you. And they would sort of feed Cherokee's paranoia and say, oh, the only people I can trust are these folks who are around me all the time telling me what I need to know. So that's kind of how they played Cherokee. What was your... they were just a sort of tight group of folks who were united by that certification, by that skill, and sort of an outsized pride in their level of skills. And we're the elite of the folks in the welding trade. So they had a number of folks that were strongly tied to the Cherokee group, who were also pipe welders in the yard. And some of those were guys who had told Cherokee all along, watch out for the Workers Viewpoint folks. They're screwing you, they're leading you into disaster. Some of those didn't have any political motives, and some of them were very anti-communist. And they were telling Cherokee, you're headed for disaster. These guys are going to use you up and throw you away. And as the events developed, that's exactly what they did. I used to read Workers Viewpoint because I was dealing with those folks. So one of the things I would do would be to read their paper because I wanted to know what the hell they thought. And one of the theoretical articles that they wrote made a point, and they adopted a quote from Lenin, I believe it was. They said, "We support the labor bureaucrats like a rope supports a hanged man." And damn, if ever there was a apt description of the relationship with Cherokee, that's it. Because as long as he was doing what they wanted, they would go out and praise him to the skies in the yard. They'd say, oh yeah, Cherokee, he's great, he does this, he does that. And all along they were setting him up because they ultimately had no use for Cherokee.